Delightful. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. This is my first breakfast I've ever taught, so be kind. Morning to the friends on the computer. I'm glad you tuned in. Today, I'm actually really, really excited because I'm going to talk about a topic that I think is really exciting. It might mildly terrify some of you, and that's okay, because we don't grow unless we're a little scared, hence me today doing this. We're going to talk about short form content. And I think this is so exciting because our industry is inherently very visual. You guys are out in the community every day looking at houses, some really awesome, some not so much. And all of that stuff lends itself really well to video. And if you're hoping to be in business in the next 10, 15 years, bringing in new leads, you're going to want to pay attention to this and maybe implement it in your marketing strategy. All right. Oh, I didn't stop my timer. I'd like to know where I'm at with this. So with that, are you working, clicker? I think so. Yep. Well, this is cool. No, you did it. Okay. Well, teamwork, I think, and we're gonna go that route. Sound cool? We'll make it work. Yeah, it's all good. Nobody is dying. We're cool. And with that, I want to welcome you all to the new era of social media. And what I mean by that is that we are living in 2025, and things are a lot different in terms of short form content. Now, if you remember way back to 2020, a couple of things went down, and we spent an awful lot of time on our phones, a lot of time scrolling. There were some apps that showed up that kind of changed the game. And with that, it changed the way media is made, but also the way media is consumed. And that's relevant to you guys because when we think about short form content, social media, good? When we think about all of that, we need to make sure we're adapting to the way things are right now. 2020 doesn't feel that long ago, but the reality is that was half a decade ago. And marketers say that in 2021, social media stopped being social at all. It just became media. And that's because there was an influx of content being pumped out by everybody, every day, all the time. And that in turn changed the game completely. So when you're thinking about your marketing strategy and using short form content, you need to be thinking about it differently. So before we start, we need to know the basics, right? So we have obviously the videos. Most of you know what they are. Most of you watch them whether you admit them or not on a very regular basis, right? So short form video is quite simply short videos. Shocking. But the important thing is that it's videos that contain bite-sized pieces of information that are easily shared, easily consumed, and usually they have some trendy stuff to them, but I'm going to put that to the side today because if you've never done this before, trends can seem a little scary. But short form videos, they're filmed vertically. They're usually anywhere from like 3 seconds to 10 minutes. The optimum time kind of depends on who you ask. But they're short, they're quick, they're easy to consume. Now the platforms, we kind of know our major players, right? TikTok, love her or hate her. She's around for the moment. But if something does happen there, we still have Instagram Reels, which are also on Facebook. We have YouTube Shorts. And actually in 2025, LinkedIn and X, Twitter, nobody calls it X, are coming out with their own version of short form content feeds. So even if TikTok does meet demise at some point, we can take all of this today and apply it in these places. So there's no excuse. Even if you really hate TikTok, you can still do all of this on Instagram. No excuses. We don't like those. And the last thing that I think is really exciting is the opportunity that we all have here. Because as I said, things really changed in 2021, and it's been 4 years since that. People's attention spans are getting shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter. And I think it's actually less than a goldfish now, which is a little bit frightening. But that's because we all have experienced something called time compression. Because we spend so much time on our phone consuming bite-sized pieces of information, information given to us in long form doesn't hit the same. We get bored real fast. So the opportunity here is that we're going to be able to make content to meet people where they are, not try and change their habits, but get them on board and not try and convince them otherwise. All right. And the really exciting thing is that this is where the next generation of home buyers, home sellers are hanging out. And like I said, if you want to be bringing in new business in the next 10, 15 years, you want to be where the people are. And I sing Little Mermaid in my head whenever I say that out loud. So before we start, we need to kind of look at the psychology behind short form content, and we need to consider human behavior, right? We understand attention spans, goldfish-like. We got that, right? But there was also a study done last year of people consuming a message in both text form and video form. Same message, same content, same value. And the person consuming that message was able to retain 95% of it through video, only 10% when they read it. That's wild, right? Which means that if you write this beautifully crafted piece of information on the market or what not to do when you're buying your first house, doesn't matter how sparkly and wonderful that content is, they're not going to get it all. So you're wasting your time writing these beautiful things, making just graphics, not to say don't do that, don't abandon that entirely, but they're not going to get it all. So you're missing a massive opportunity by not doing the video route. Now, we also need to consider who the target market is. Millennials? Anybody? Me too? Yeah? There's more of you. Come on now. Yeah, don't lie to me. Thank you. All right. So the largest consumer of short form content, millennials. That doesn't shock anybody, I'm quite sure, right? So the millennials is the age range 28 to 34. And there was actually a study done by NAR last year that the average age of a first-time home buyer in the US is 38 years old. So we can deduce that the people that are either thinking about buying a home in the near future are spending the majority of their time online consuming short-form content. So why in the holy heckin' Bob would you not show them content? Why would you not do it? This is so exciting, and it shouldn't be intimidating because this is such an opportunity to get in front of a massive audience. Millennials are the largest group of decision makers in this country right now. And if they're the ones buying houses, you want to be in front of them. I want to add a caveat to that, though. When you're considering your target marketing strategy for short form content, I don't want you to completely abandon your current target. What I want you to do is kind of just take it into account. I want you to consider who you're already working with, in a perfect world, who you'd like to be working with, and see if there are any key demographics that are connective tissue between those groups. That way you can kind of target those people as well, right? If you've got a group that you've successfully marketed to in the past, piggyback on that. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel here. I'm trying to expand what you're already doing. And this is important because the more you narrow your target, the better the algorithms are going to work for you, okay? We'll talk about algorithms in a minute, which is really the crux of this whole thing. But you are able to capture more people more effectively if you know who you're going after. If you were to throw a giant net into the ocean, gigantic net with no reason, you're going to pull up tires and license plates and a couple of fish and who knows what. But if you bait the hook with exactly what that person is after, your odds are so much better. So much better. Now, for my friends that are very business minded, there are a lot of benefits to short form content as well. First one being brand awareness. So each of you being agents, you have your own brand. Many of you have your own logos, your own brand identity, and I'm assuming you'd like to grow that brand, hopefully. The best way to do that is through short form content. This shouldn't be shocking based on what we've already learned, right? So there was a study done last year by a market research company called Wise Owl, and they polled companies that were using short form content. They saw a 90% increase in brand awareness. 90. That's huge, right? Because short form content is the fastest, most effective way to get in front of the most people. It's like a no-brainer, right? And if you're trying to do just that, get in front of new eyeballs and grow your brand, might want to check it out. Just thought. Now we also have the metric side. If anybody else enjoys the creepy little numbers that you find out from social media, short form content is a top-notch deliverer of those metrics, okay? You are able to see in real time, for the most part, how your content performs and use that information to plan ahead, right? When we're talking about our strategy, we want to be intentional. And if we're making content and just, tossing out ideas every which way, we're not really learning from that content. But if you're looking at the videos you make and say, okay, this one that I made that had great on-screen graphics, it performed really well. So then if you say to yourself, okay, the next one I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to maybe have it be a voiceover or something. Social media in and of itself is really just a giant experiment. So use it that way. Use what you've done to educate your next steps. Now, to do that, we need to understand what the metrics really mean, right? And these are kind of the ones I want to focus on today. You probably recognize the first one anyway, views. This one here is what I call a vanity metric. It feels real nice when the little eyeball says 200 people watched your video, 1,000 people watched your video. It feels cool. But it really doesn't give us like the meat and potatoes of the data we can move forward with. But I will tell you a little story. When I was at R4 last year, I was able to watch Jared James present. He was talking about one of the main barriers to entry with short form video was the lack of views people were getting. They were getting frustrated and basically just bailing because it didn't feel good to get 100 views, 200 views. What I want you to picture is that you just put on a first-time homebuyers seminar here in this room. If you had 100 people show up to that, that's pretty solid. 100 sets of eyes sitting here listening to your message, your information. That's huge. So if you're starting out and you only have 100 views, don't give up. Use it as motivation because it will grow if you follow what I'm going to tell you in a minute. But don't get discouraged by those numbers because really they're just boosts to the ego. What we want to look at is our retention rate. And that's the second one I have here. Retention rate is how long somebody watches your video for, whether it's just the first few seconds or all the way to the very end. What that does is leave little fingerprints on the algorithm. It tells the algorithm, whether it's Instagram or TikTok or YouTube, hey, this person really liked this content. And that's going to start resulting in change. All right. The last one is likes and shares. This one is a little more tangible. You can see how many people made the conscious choice to double tap, to share. That also leaves fingerprints on the algorithm, but it also is going to give you concrete context clues, if you will, on what to do moving forward. Now, the algorithm, as I mentioned, this is the real reason we should all be so hyped about this, okay? The algorithm is not the way it used to be. It is not chronological, and it is not based on who you follow. I want to say that so loudly. The algorithm is not based on who you follow only. It used to be. Remember, things changed in 2021. We're in a new world, kids. And the algorithm shows content to people based on interest, not on their followers. There is some overlap for sure, but if somebody has shown the algorithm, hey, houses are cool, the algorithm is going to show them more content of houses, even if they don't follow the creators. Okay? which is why it is important to kind of pick your lane and stay there. So if you're going to be a TikToker that does real estate, be a TikToker that does real estate. Because if you are then making house video one day, car video the next day, makeup video the day after that, and then you're going to cook a recipe, and then you're going to repeat the cycle, the algorithm is going to get really confused. It doesn't know how to pair up a viewer with your content, because one day you're real estate, or the next day your houses and or cars, and so on and so forth, right? You need to pick your spot and stick there and get really good at it. Not to say you shouldn't inject personality, because you need to do that. You can show your interests and your hobbies, but you need to kind of bring it back around. You're a realtor that does also XYZ. Okay? Now, the algorithm back in the day was very linear if you were trying to grow and get to new people. For the most part, you had two options. There's some outliers, but you'd either pay for an ad and you'd be shown to new people, or somebody would be like doom scrolling on the explore page on Instagram and they would happen to click on you. Both of those things, not ideal. One you pay for, one is a crapshoot. Okay? Because then you'd hope for repeated exposure after that, hopefully some engagement, and then maybe they'll follow you. But the new algorithm, the one that we're seeing now post 2021, is a little bit more like this. It's not linear, okay? The algorithm changes constantly. Has anybody been scrolling on TikTok, watching, for me, it's like makeup videos, and all of a sudden you're watching, I don't know, somebody clean out their pantry, and then you watch it all the way through, and then you're like, oh, this person's also cleaning out their pantry, and oh, they're going to clean the bathroom, and you get stuck in a loop. Anybody? Yeah? That's because you're telling the algorithm what you want to watch. And the algorithm is saying, all right, bet, watch these. And you're going to get stuck in a loop. So the algorithm listens. So we need to be there. We need to recognize that if you're trying to grow your following, it doesn't matter if they follow you, number one. It matters where their location is, what kind of content they've already been consuming, even if they've never seen your face before. We need to recognize that once the algorithm gets that information, it's going to bend and turn and change. It's going to start showing your content to them if they've watched a house video and maybe they see your face multiple times, and then hopefully they'll follow you. But the beautiful thing is not a single penny was spent on any of that. That's what's so exciting about this. You don't have to run ads to grow a following in this day of social media. Sure, you can, but you don't have to. So if you're just getting going in the industry, hop on board, friend, because this is going to be your way to grow your brand without having to invest a ton of money up front. Now, we also have, whoa. What did I do? Well, we're just going to give away the whole end of my presentation, shall we? Quickly. Building trust through authenticity. Don't look away. I didn't spend several slides to give them all away up front. See, now he doesn't like me again, but all right. Okay, you saw nothing. So short form video obviously is very conducive to authenticity, and you can be yourself, you can be who you are, you can demonstrate your likes, your interests, while showing that you're an agent. And you have to kind of come to terms with the fact that not everybody's going to like you. And I don't know if you know this, but that's okay. It's all right. It's okay. Like, there are thousands upon millions of people on TikTok. You are not going to be able to handle all of them coming to you saying, I want to buy a house. So it doesn't matter if you appeal to somebody in Seattle who thinks that your video is stupid. What I want you to remember is that a comment, nice or not, is telling the algorithm to show it to more people. So let the haters hate, all right? That's all. I'm just saying. Now, I kind of mentioned this already, but this is the most cost-effective way to grow your business. If you're new to the industry, consider it. I do want you to know that it does take a time investment. It takes time. Think about your content. It takes time to film it. It takes time to edit it. But that's cool because short form content far and away has the highest ROI of any other kind of marketing based on the study HubSpot did last year. HubSpot is a marketing technology company. I'm going to their conference in September, actually. I'm very excited. And they do a lot of really cool research about this stuff. And last year, they did a survey of companies using short form content. They had a 29% ROI. 29%. And that is based on not followers, not website visits. That was bottom line numbers. Okay. And that's over things like images, flat images, it's over live streams, and it's over podcasts. That's pretty cool. That's exciting. You like to see that, right? And all of that is exciting because we understand short form content is very efficient. You can do a lot of it in one sitting, right? It is innately shareable because, like we kind of talked about in the beginning, it's hard to watch an hour YouTube video. You send it to your friend and have them watch the whole thing. They're much more likely to watch a video that you send them from Instagram Reels that's 20 seconds, and they're going to retain it. They're going to hang on to it in their brain. That growth is organic. There's not any money behind it, which is why every hour people spent on video, they saw the most growth. And that's really exciting. I don't know about you guys, but I would so much rather invest some time and see results than pay a whole bunch of money for a Facebook ad, but we don't know what the heck they're doing with our money in the first place, and have it actually do something for you. We're going to have words. There you go. You got the storyteller one? Yeah. Go. All right. So hopefully I've convinced you. Are we in? Are we going to try this? Okay, fine. I'll keep going. No, we need to go forward. So if you're going to give this a go, which I hope you will, what I want you to do is you're going to wear your realtor hat, but I want you to think of yourself as a content creator, maybe an influencer if we're feeling crazy. But most importantly, I want you to think of yourself as a storyteller. All right. This is kind of circling back around to human behavior. Humans don't pay attention to stuff they're not interested in. Point blank, period. All right. So you've probably heard that you need to hook people when you make videos. Duh. Right. Well, what I need you to do is hook them and figure out what to do to keep them. That right there is the key. Because if somebody's on the hook, they hop up and swim away, you've lost them. There are a lot of fish metaphors in this. I'm just noticing that right now. You like it? Thank you, Dave. But you need to keep them for it to do anything positive for you, okay? And to do that, you got to do three things. You need to establish common ground with the viewer. And this could be anything as small as the fact that you both are from Des Moines. Doesn't have to do anything with the fact that they've maybe thought about real estate, because maybe they haven't. But you need to establish something that's like, hey, this person might be my kind of person for whatever reason. Then I want you to reference a pain point, no matter what that is. Somebody could have searched a video, say, I don't know where to go for coffee in Des Moines. Reference, say, hey, I have this cool place in Des Moines to go for coffee. It's a very small pain point. It's not even really that painful, but it is something that they can latch onto. And then I want you to help them understand, learn something new in a new way, whatever that way is. All right. And I have a little formula to do that. Now, we're just going to do it this way. Now, this one here is what I don't want you to do right here, this little formula story arc. If you've ever been in an English class, ever, you've maybe seen this. Some call it the pyramid, the inverted pyramid. Some call it the story arc. But this is the old school way, right? Because we're in 2025. We have to do things differently. We have to tell stories differently. We can't just do who, what, where, when, why, how. We can't do it. And no offense if you have, but it can get boring. And I am much nicer than a random person on the internet. They will just say it's boring. What I want you to do instead is this version. Cool. This is the modern story arc of 2025. When you're putting together stories, no matter how large or small, I want you to think about formulating them this way. We want to go what, why, who, how, when, where. All right. I'll give you an example. So say, okay, Madison, you talked me into it. I'm going to try and make a short form video. Set up your phone and you're going to give it a try. And you start and you say, hi, I'm Sally Smith. I'm a realtor in Des Moines, Iowa with Remax Concepts. And I'm going to tell you how I took an expired listing and sold it in 2 weeks. That's a lot of words, guys. That's a lot of words. And no matter the value behind those words, people don't care. Like, I'm going to hold your hand when I say that. People don't care. I love you all so much, but they don't. And they just don't, okay? They want to get right to the meat right at the beginning. So I want you to do this instead. Don't introduce yourself, because again, they can, if they care enough, they'll figure it out. It should be in your handle, your bio, your brokerage, in your handle, in your bio, on the screen. Holy cow, do we have options with the screen? I digress. But what I want you to do instead is to say, I took an expired listing and sold it in 2 weeks. Here's how. We got right to the point, right up front. We did not waste any time. We did not give them an out to hop off the hook, the metaphorical hook, and swim down the feed. We got right to it. They're going to know straight away if they vibe with you or not. And again, if they don't, that's all right. But you're then going to be able to hopefully hook them. Then you can give them the context info. You can tell them how you did it, when you did it, where you did it, all the other stuff. But you need to get punchy right up top. Next one. And I mean, in essence, you need to cut the fluff. All right. I tend to be a woody person myself, if you couldn't tell. And it can be very difficult to make video where you're not over explaining, where you're not leaving giant gaps of white noise. It's not easy, but that's why editing software is a thing. But you need to be thinking more in the form of sentences, like bullet points, not sentences. Be grammatically correct, but cut out the fluffy words that don't actually add meat and potatoes to what you're saying. I also want you to consider exploring visual storytelling. So I kind of talked about this. We are doing video, kids. The options are almost endless with what you can do. You can do on-screen captions. If you're doing a voiceover, maybe you highlight a couple of phrases, you add little, I don't know, stickers, or maybe you're just doing a tour and you're moving around. Do something, because again, we understand that people are not so great when they're asked to focus. You guys are doing awesome. You're focusing beautifully. But everybody else maybe doesn't like me as much as you guys. So, but we need to do something else for their eyeballs to pay attention to. Even if it's just reading the captions. Does anybody else read the captions at like movies? And that's what you get. Yeah, I can't help it. Like my eyes are drawn to it. Capitalize on human behavior. It'll work out for you, I promise. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how awesome your content is if they don't watch it. It doesn't matter. They could give a crap how much you sold last year. They could care less what you actually have to say if they don't stay and watch it. So we need to think about how to best position ourselves to get them to stay, to get them to watch it, because that's how you grow. Now, I do have some best practices. These are some of my most important things when I'm doing content from me to you, okay? Trends. This one is a tough one. It's a thing. Trends are a thing. You need to watch them. But if you've never done a short form video before, I don't want that to be your barrier to entry. I don't want your inability to lip sync to an audio be the reason you don't try. Okay. If that's too much, I get it. It's not easy. I just filmed one the other day and it took me about 17 tries. Instead, do trend research. Find something that's trendy that will work for you, whether that's hashtags. You can do hashtag research right in app or Google it or ask ChatGPT what hashtags are trending. There's a life hack for you. Or just add a trending audio to the background of your video. Doesn't have to be loud, but it's there. And again, that's going to leave little fingerprints on the algorithm too. But don't let the stupid dances be the reason you don't track. Okay. Now, I also want you to include a clear call to action. All right. People really appreciate it when they're included, when they're involved. And if they are being asked unspoken questions by every person that makes a video, because they're being asked to pay attention, to buy in. And then if you end your video with, hey, follow me, or you start your video with, hey, follow me, it's very passive. They're not getting a darn thing out of it, really. But what you could ask them to do is to maybe comment down below their opinion. People love to give opinions. They love it. We all have one. So maybe if you're doing a house tour, you say, hey, comment below, what would have you painted this room? Or if you're like showing the backyard, what would you love to see in this backyard? Something, anything. Ask their opinion. Don't just ask for a follow. But if they feel included, they're more likely to come back, right? But thinking about the human behavior. We also want to be consistent. This one right here, if you take nothing else away from me today, I would like it to be this one, okay? The algorithm is very, very smart. We've established this, right? And it knows that if you have not posted since October, and then you don't do it again until July, it knows. And it's not going to shame you for it, but it knows. But what it does is tell people that your page is not a place to go to for the most up-to-date information. It sends a subliminal message to the people going to check you out. They don't have it. They're not going to have the answers I need, even if you do, because you all do. Everybody in this room is great at what you do. But you need to show them that, all right? There was a thing I saw when I did my research for this class about an elephant to a watering hole. Love the visual. If an elephant goes to a watering hole, i.e. the consumer being the elephant, your feed being the watering hole. They go to the watering hole, they get water one day, they're happy. They come back the next day. If there is no water, they're moving on to the next one. They've lost interest in you, they're moving on. Because short form creators are not in short supply. There are others out there. So you do, at the very bare minimum, need to be consistent. But that means something different for everybody, okay? If you have never in your life posted a video on any platform ever, I don't want you to come to me and say, I'm going to post 4 this week. No, you're not. I'm sorry. You're not gonna. Maybe you do once, maybe twice. But you guys are busy humans. You have so much happening. You need to have a very honest inward chat with yourself and say, hey, I know I have 100 other things happening. I'm going to have a goal to post a video once a week. That is a great goal because it's, 5 more a month than you were doing before. And then I want you to get really freaking good at it. I want you to do that over and over and over until you're like, you know what, I could do 2, and then get really good at that. But don't go from like 0 to 100 because you will get burnt out faster than you can ever imagine. You're going to resent social media. You're going to resent content. Maybe me. I hope not. But I don't want that to happen. I want you to get really good at it because that's where you will see the growth. The algorithm will favor you. I promise you. I can't see the future, so I can't make you guarantees, but I have a real good feeling. All right. The last thing I want to say about that is getting the most out of your content. So you've spent all this time, you've invested your energy into creating a video. Where are you going to put it? Just on TikTok? No. We don't want to do that. I want you to put that sucker on every platform that can host short form video. If you can. If you can only want to start with 2, do that. Again, set your goals that are realistic for you. But all of these platforms show the same kind of video. So why would you not put it where you can to get in front of that many more eyeballs? You're going to increase your own odds. We love that. Another great tip is content batching, because again, you guys are very busy people. You have a lot of things happening, clients, kids, dogs, sports, all the things. If you block out an hour on your calendar to sit down and you film one video that's like a half hour long, you take that video and then you dice it up into tiny pieces. You have now what? 7, 10 videos? That's awesome. Because then, excuse me, what you can do is then schedule that content out. Future-proof yourself. You're going to meet that goal because you've then put the time and effort to schedule those out, and then you're going to go about your merry way throughout the month, and maybe you see a new trend, and you're like, hey, I want to film a video for this. I'm going to post it. That one is just gravy. It's like a bonus because you've already scheduled out that content. Nobody cares that you're wearing the same outfit in multiple videos, by the way. Nobody cares. Because again, the algorithm isn't chronological. Nobody is going to know. They very well could see a video you posted a month and a half ago before they see the one you posted today. It's just the way the algorithm works. So don't worry about that. Don't get hung up on that. But future-proof it for yourself. Schedule it out. Make your life easy. I promise you won't regret that. Tools and equipment. Back in the day, when I first started teaching video class here at Concepts, this was probably the most commonly asked question I got. How do I do it because I don't have the tools? If you have one of these, I don't care if it's Android or Apple. Don't judge me. I like Apple. You have the tools. You have everything you need right here. You can use an iPad if you wanted. You could use your computer if you wanted. I wouldn't. That's kind of the wrong angle, but you have it. Okay. But if you're like, hey, I kind of want to level up a little bit, these are the things I would consider checking out. A tripod. You could have a standalone one. I got mine on Amazon for like $12. It like telescopes really tall and then it goes really tiny and it's easy to carry and it's great. Those little Octo Buddy suction cup flunkies that hung out on the back of your phones, great option. Or anything could be a tripod. I used that microphone stand as a tripod once because I didn't have a real one. I propped up books. I choked on my own saliva. So sorry. I've used my Stanley as a tripod because that is the most millennial thing anybody could do. But it works. Microphone, again, you have one. But if you're needing one, this puppy that I'm using right now plugs into your phone. It was what, $20 on Amazon? And we got 2 of them. Headphones, AirPods, even the headphones that have cords, microphones are great. Use those. If you're going to use the one built into your phone, though, give it a little test drive. My phone's a little old. The microphone's not as hot as she once was, but still, you have one. External light. This one I would consider, because especially when you're like in a house, in a basement, you may not have a window, but you don't actually need a ring light. You don't need one. The little clip-on ones that clip on your phone, they're about this yay big. I got mine on TikTok Shop. That's what cool kids do. It works great. It really does. It's awesome. Or a window is awesome too. Natural light is not going to be any better than anything else. And the last thing is editing. So I have changed my tune when it comes to editing. I think Cameron remembers I used to judge him for editing on his phone. I rescind my comments. I am now a convert. I edit on my phone. I find with short form content, it's easier than when it used to be horizontal video because it takes up full screen. You can actually see what you're looking at. And you have options for what you can use to edit. I personally love CapCut. It is a TikTok product. So if that one is canned, we don't know what she'll probably go to, but we'll cross that bridge. Canva is also great. We also have iMovie if you're an Apple person. I don't actually know if Android has a editing thing. Android people? Huh? CapCut, yes, sir. Filmora is one that I looked up and it had really high reviews. Moral of the story is they're all free. There are paid versions or paid extensions, but you don't have to. So again, you don't have to buy a darn thing to start making content. You don't have to. Now, my tips and tricks, especially for my friends that are particularly scared of giving this a try. Number one, it's okay to be scared. Being scared of things is how we grow, remember? But what I don't want you to do is draft your videos. Don't do it. People on the internet affectionately call drafts the video graveyard. They never make it out. You will put it in your drafts and you will then think about it. Oh, I said something really stupid, or I choked on my own saliva, or my shirt was weird. And you're going to find every excuse to not post it. You're going to talk yourself out of it faster than you can think. So don't do it. Film your video and put it up there. Caveat to that, if you're doing like a vlog style, which are really entertaining, by the way, that's obviously over an extended period, but you're still in the active filming phase. I don't consider that the same as drafting. To that end, I will mention to you, when you're filming video, I don't personally recommend filming in app. So like I know TikTok, you can open TikTok, you can film your video, you can edit your video, post your video, right? I don't love to do that because number one, each of the clips is now living in TikTok. It doesn't live separate from that. So if you wanted to repurpose a clip, a section or two for another piece of content, can't. It's stuck in TikTok. You can't get it out. I have tried and failed. The other piece is that if you're trying to cross post, so you make it on TikTok, you want to put it on Instagram, you're going to end up with a little watermark that hops around. And it's not a huge deal, but it's kind of a distraction. So I film in my camera on my phone, and then I edit with one of those external editing programs, whatever one you prefer. And that way, all the content is yours. You can then reuse it in any way that makes sense. Okay? Back on topic. After you don't draft it, I want you to post and ghost. All right? I want you to post that sucker, close TikTok, put your phone down, go for a walk, go show a house, go do whatever you're going to do. But don't go back and look at it every 2 minutes. You're going to hurt your own feelings, or you're going to get distracted. Okay? I don't actually have proof of this, but something in me feels like if you look at it all the time, it's like a pot that boils. It's going to do worse. I don't know if that's just my own experience. I've learned from this, okay? But don't just repeatedly check it, because if you delete a video based on lack of views, that also tells the algorithm something about you. It does. It leaves not as many fingerprints, but a couple. And it's going to tell the algorithm, hey, this person is either not confident enough or their video wasn't informative enough. Just leave it. If you said something dumb, make a response video saying, I said this and it was incorrect. Or, hey, LOL at the fact that I tripped over nothing, or something. Don't delete it. Just let it be. Because again, people, if they're going to be haters, are going to be haters no matter what. Don't delete it. Let it be. All right? The last one is balance out your content. So there used to be kind of a set formula, if you will, for how much of what kind of content you post, whether that's business versus personal life. You really just need to find a balance that works for you. You want to be informative, you want to be educational, but you don't want to be a real estate robot. There's a reason, like, what was it, Zillow, that was trying to make digital agents or whatever? It's not going to work. People want to work with a human being. So you still want to show who you are, what you're about, your personality, but don't let that be all you post. And in the same vein, don't only post very formal, factual pieces of content. You need to find a blend that fits for you. And it's different for everybody, and that's okay. Now, this is what you've all been waiting for. I probably get the biggest comment from people saying, I don't know how to make video because I don't know what to film. Guys, that's a bunch of baloney. Our industry is inherently visual. There are endless things you could film. And I made 3 slides of it for you. Get excited. So we have first our educational informative, and that's the basic stuff. I want you to think about what consumers might ask. I want you to think about what maybe you were curious about when you were first getting licensed. Because I will admit, and Maria knows this because she sold my house, I didn't know a darn thing about real estate when I bought mine, and I'd worked here for 5 years. I didn't know what the definition of certain words were. I didn't know the order of things. Make videos that explain stuff in easy to digest ways. If you think it's too insignificant of a video, I promise you it's not. Somebody's going to get something out of it. All right. You can talk about, mistakes to avoid, myths people have, the basics of a mortgage. You could have Chuck on a video with you. I'm sure he'd love that. Yeah, there's all sorts of stuff. Market updates. This one's cool because it renews itself every month, every other week. It's fluid. It changes. Okay. So you can do a market update on, the local market snapshot. I give you the numbers every month. You could take them and make a video with it. What are the home rates right now? What is a buyer's versus a seller's market? Answer those questions that you think are dumb. Behind the scenes is my favorite because I watch these myself all the time. I love a good target video, people putting stuff in the basket. Love that. And what's in my bag? Fascinating. You think I'm kidding? I'm not. I'm not. You guys live out of your cars, right? I bet you have some weird crap in there. That would be a great video. That would be a great video. And you need to be honest, authentic. Maybe don't, if there's questionable stuff, don't show that, but be honest, be authentic to yourself. That's a great video to post. You could talk about the reality of real estate showings where you drive from Grimes to Altoona and then to Newton and God knows where else. Show your actual life. Vlog style videos do so well, guys. What else we got? How you prepare a home for sale, the behind the scenes of a listing photo shoot. We got lots of options. We also have this page, page number 2. Home tours and features. Remember, our industry is visual. You guys see weird stuff, cool stuff, impressive stuff all the time. You could do a luxury home tour. Caveat. If it's not your listing, get permission. I repeat, if it's not your listing, get permission to film inside of it. I don't care if it's just showing the pencil sharpener in the basement or the outside of the house. If it's not your listing, you cannot film it without permission. If it is, knock yourself out because you can film that. But home tours features. You could do hidden gems, unique homes, luxury homes. Videos at the home show do so well. Sydney had one wherever she went, had one that did really, really well a few years ago. It's a great, great place to get content. Tiny homes. I ended up on tiny home TikTok the other day. Those things are crazy. So I learned all sorts of stuff. If you find one, make a video about it. We also have neighborhood and lifestyle. This one should be fun. It's just you living your life, but it's demonstrating your knowledge of your community, of the area. Go to a new coffee shop, interview the owner, talk about what it's like living in Des Moines, in Ankeny, wherever it is you are. Talk about commuting times. If somebody doesn't live here, that topic might seem silly, but it will mean something to somebody. They don't know how long it takes to get from Ankeny to here because it's deceivingly long. For here. My dad in Florida would argue that. Florida, 10 minutes is a little nothing, but it's a long time around here. Things to do in your city this weekend. That one is evergreen every week. That is content on content. Go to those events. Do a vlog. Always, Barry. Okay, take like 17. Client stories and testimonials. You all have them. If you did a video interviewing a client, that would be so well. If you did one talking about an experience that you had, where you successfully closed a tough deal, or you helped somebody relocate, or something that pulls on the heartstrings, people love that stuff. It performs so well. And lastly, we have these two. Michelle, slacking over here. Sorry, I'm just kidding. I know she's a busy lady. These last two, engaging and entertaining. This one, I encourage you to try. Show your personality, have fun with it. The internet at one point was a fun place to hang out. I would love to get back to that. This first one, realtors react to crazy Zillow listings. Those are funny because people have some weird stuff on Zillow listings. And the neat loophole there is it's a listing that's already put on the internet, so you can make a video about that. You're not in the house, but you can show it. Or don't use Zillow because they're not really in our camp. Use your own website to show how listing photos. We love that. You can do real estate terms. We talked about that. Home price, guess the price. People in Florida laugh at how much houses cost here. I can attest to that. You could do funny realtor moments. People love bloopers. Again, that's a little vulnerable, but it pays off, I promise. The weirdest things you've seen in a house, I'm sure you all have a list or two. And then this last one, called personal branding. Talk about why people need an agent and shouldn't be FSBO. So, top reasons people choose you or your team to be their agent. Things you wish you knew as a brand new agent. That's a good one. What makes a great realtor? You could talk about concepts. You could talk about concept carriage. You could do an ops tour, a team tour. I don't know, make one about the Super Bowl. I think Ingrid's team did that. That was good. You can do all sorts of stuff that incorporates your people, your place. And you can really make an impact that way. I do have a couple of examples. We'll see if they want to cooperate of some different kinds of video. This one here got a 1.5 million likes, over 3,000 comments, and 28.6 thousand shares.
This adorable little house already has you fooled. As you can see from the outside, it's super cute, but well, it's small. However, small definitely wouldn't be the word I use to describe this home.